Hi friends, today we are going to talk about shipment in rice exports. What do we need to know about all that is related to shipment while making an export? Very specifically, we are talking about rice export today. In this why this is very helpful is for new exporters or for aspiring exporters. This information could be very critical. Now, we have talked in our past videos, we have talked about how to find a market, an authentic buyer, how to invoice, how to prepare documentation. So we have learned about all this. Now when you're physically moving goods, what is that comes into picture? As also discussed before, assuming that you have done your pre requirements of company formation, for example, your importer exporter code, and then the most importantly, you will have a bank account. So that AD code bank account needs to be registered at the port of export. For example, if you are shipping from Chennai, then you will have to along with your company documents and IEC, import export certificate, you will have to give your other KYC documents, and one most important document is AD code letter from your bank, which all this will be guided by your shipping agent who will handle your shipment. So which means you will have to also select a very good shipping agent. It is also very important to select a very good shipping agent. I'll tell you why, my friends. Now what happens is, when you dispatch your goods, say from your warehouse or from your rice mill, it's transferred to the shipping agent, say for example in Chennai. Now you are moving these goods, which is a very valuable goods, might be say 25 metric tons of rice, might be say for example which is worth 8 to 9 lakhs. Now if your shipping agent is not a trusted person, will he handle your cargo in a right way? There are some risks involved as well. Whether he will cheat you with the cargo, he will take your cargo and run away if you don't know him well, if he's not come from a reference or something. So this is very important. Whether he will handle very rightly, might be your goods might get into any kind of damage, might be some water falls on it, on something like that. So you need a very trusted, a very known shipping agent who knows how to handle rice as a cargo, and then who can do this work, including the documentation and everything for you smoothly. So this is one part of it. Now once your company is registered at the port, say Chennai port, now, and that if you have booked your deal with your customer, now the first thing that you need to do is with your shipping agent is that you need to send him the invoice and packing list of the shipment. What your shipping agent will do is he will file the invoice and packing list in the customs, so that he can now prepare for the shipment, and he will do his part of after filing, and then you will have to inform him of the movement of cargo from the rice mill or from the warehouse to Chennai. Now very important information, friends, for first time exporters. It is not that your goods will directly go into the port. I'm talking about Chennai, and in almost all the ports this is how it happens. It goes to a CFS. What is a CFS? CFS is a container freight station, is normally what's called. So the goods go into the CFS, where you will have the shipping agent will unload the cargo, stock it in the warehouse, and then he will take approval from the government for phytosanitary approval. Then there is a custom clearance approval which happens, who will come and inspect the goods and say, okay, this has rice in it, this he will verify along with the invoice, and he will give a go ahead signal. Once he gives the go ahead signal, your shipping agent will then call for the containers, empty containers from the shipping line. Once the empty container comes, and then the loading into the stuffing into the container will start. This is when inspection agency is also appointed, either by you or by your shipping agent, who will inspect that the total 1,000 bags or whatever quantity it is getting loaded. The samples are drawn, the samples are analyzed, so everything is being taken care of. He will monitor this, he will do a survey of this, and once it is done, the fumigation happens as we discussed earlier, and the container is closed, sealed, and then it is by truck again sent to the actual port, where the container waits for the vessel which it is going to be onboarded to. So these are all the process involved, which means assuming that you have dispatched the goods today to Chennai and it has reached Chennai, say for example tomorrow, right? So for your rough calculation, you should assume that for the container, all this process to happen and sit on the vessel, it will minimum take you about a one week is normally how much, this is the time that it takes. However, sometimes in Chennai for example right now, direct from truck to a container transfer is not happening right now, not allowed right now, whereas might be in a port like for example say Mangalore, or for example say Mumbai in CFS, there are chances that you can get approval for direct from transfer from the truck to directly to the container, right? There's also one more thing, factory stuffing. What is factory stuffing? That you get permission to stuff directly at your factory and send it to the port, but this is a bit complicated based on the location of your rice mill. For example, say your rice mill is in Nagpur, Maharashtra. In Nagpur, Maharashtra, there is a ICD. What is an ICD? It's an internal container depot. So the container is called from an ICD directly to the factory. So the factory stuffing becomes, and the factory stuffing approval becomes much easier. So that is possible there. For example, say your shipment is happening from a place called Raichur in Karnataka, where there is no nearest internal container depot. The nearest might be is Bangalore, but which is still about 600 kilometers far. You can get factory stuffing there, but you will have to call the container from Bangalore through your shipping agent. So that will again attract you double transportation cost, and your pricing will become much higher, and might be you might lose out on your pricing being competitive when you're competing with others, right? So sometimes some things are not economically feasible for the pricing and stuff. Otherwise, even Bangalore has an ICD, and Raichur for example is about 600 kilometers away. It's going to be expensive, so you will have to plan this. So the factory stuffing permission can be granted through your shipping agent. He can help you in that, but you need to look at where your rice mill location is. If you are a trader who buys from different rice mills, say for example if you're trading from Nagpur, there you can take factory stuffing approvals, whereas in Karnataka you might have to send by a truck to Chennai port and then allow the operations to happen there at the CFS. I hope you like this information here, friends. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, and as I've been always telling you, here is a WhatsApp number for rice prices. Anytime just send a hi and you can keep in touch with the prices, and happy exporting, friends. Thank you.